beloved brothers and sisters. So, this morning I woke up and I received some news of a friend, very close friend, that passed away. And I was a bit in shock because I've just recently spoke to her because we chat on a regular basis, even though we don't see each other every day, and so we talk on a regular basis. And while I received this news, I was just for a few minutes, I wasn't shocked. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say or what to do. I was just speechless. I decided then to take my Bible and open my Bible. That is what I always do when I don't know what to say or what to do. And as I just now opened my Bible, I opened it on Isaiah 57, verse 1. And the word here is: good people die and no one understands or even cares. But when they die, no calamity can hurt them. Those who live good lives find peace and rest in death. This is the same word that I got on a day that I felt very sad and missing my mother. And I opened my Bible and God gave me this word. So I don't think it's coincidence that I opened the Bible again this morning on this word that tells us good people die, and when they die, they find a place with peace and rest, and there's no calamity. And that is just a word that comforts me when there is death. And this morning, I'm just, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't have words to say to the parents of this young lady because I do not know what they're feeling, what they're going through, because we all feel differently when death hits us. I don't know what to say to her sisters who are my close friends. I don't know what to say to them. All I can do is pray for them. Pray for them so that God can comfort their hearts. But this morning, God is taking me back to when my mother passed away. So a lot of you that knows me know that my mother was one of the most important people in my life, and I just loved my mother very dearly. And she was also taken away suddenly. She wasn't a sick person. She was full of life and full of energy. And one day she just got sick, and for the week, couple of days, few days, she didn't feel well. I took her to the doctor. The doctor gave some pills and said no, she'll be fine in a day or two. We waited for a day or two. She wasn't fine. Rushed her off to the hospital. The ambulance said no, man, she'll be fine, it's nothing serious. That's what the ambulance said that evening. The following day, as we were still waiting for her to be assisted in the hospital, they didn't attend to her because they said it's not that serious. And as they started attending to her, they finally realized that this is actually serious, and they were calling doctors and running around. But by that time, it was my mother's last. And even though I could see in her eyes that, that look of death you can see when it is a person's last, I saw the look in her eyes, but I kept praying, and I said, don't worry, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be well, don't worry. And she was just slipping away. But at that moment, I couldn't understand what was happening, and many times I was just like in my own zone after that. I was with a 2 months baby, 2-month-year-old baby. My mother just passed away. Everyone went on with their lives. People went to work. People went on, family went on with their lives. I was at home alone with a 2-month-old baby, grieving my mother's death. It was a very, very difficult time in my life. Sometimes the baby would cry, then I can't even attend to the baby because I'm crying, I'm feeling sad. My Bible was next to me. I couldn't even look at my Bible. I couldn't even pick up my Bible because I just, I don't know. I think I was kind of cross with God for taking my mother, and I've been so faithful and obedient towards Him. That's what I thought, and I thought, how can you do this to me? She's my right hand. She's the one that always helps me. She's the one that's always there for me. Now I'm all alone and there is no one. But as the time went on, I started picking up my Bible again, reading scriptures, and I would read things like, I am your comforter. I will comfort you in your time of mourning. God is always near to the broken heart. I would read things like that, and I would feel His presence with me, and I would cry and cry and cry myself to sleep, but I would feel that strong presence of God with me. And we were so excited for the life of my son, and then I even said, so this is what you do, God. You give me a son and then you take my mother. Until my cousin said to me, God doesn't work like that. God didn't have to give you a son, but He just gave you the son because He knew what you were gonna go through. So He gave you someone that will be there to comfort you, and He knew that you're gonna have to look after this boy. So that's when I also changed my mentality. And another lady sent me a message, and she said to me, our God is a jealous God. At first I couldn't understand what she meant by it, but later on, as I was thinking more about it, what she was saying, if you know the relationship I had with my mother, you would immediately click, our God is a jealous God. So then the Holy Spirit said to me that we should rely on God for our strength, not on our mothers and fathers, our brothers and sisters, our friends, our husbands, our colleagues, but we should rely on the strength of God. And I think that I was relying more on my mother as support, which was wrong, because we should put our trust in God, and we should know that everyone is just here on this earth for a journey, and when that journey stops, and when God called that person, we should celebrate and understand that that person is much better off than what we are. That person is in a much better space than we are. It's difficult to accept it and to understand it, but God will just show us why He had to call that person, especially if the person was very close in your life, when it was a very close person in your life. As time went on, God showed to me and revealed unto me why He had to take my mother. You see, where I went to church Not that I'm saying anything wrong about the church, but where I went to church, the things God had in store for me couldn't take place. And God has been speaking to me for years now to make some change and move in a different direction. But because I was so comfortable, I decided no, I'm comfortable here. Why must I go in a different direction? So me and my children and my mother and my husband, every Sunday we would go to church, and that was just what we did for many years, and it was very comfortable for me. But God had something different in mind for my life, and He showed me, but I didn't wanna. I was like, no, no, that's not the plan, or if it's the plan, not now, not now, you know. And what happened was when my mother passed away, I was so heartbroken. And when I finally picked myself up a little bit, I decided to go to church. So I went to the church that we attended for many years, that I was basically born in. Went to the church, and every time I sat in the church, I looked next to me, my mother wasn't there, and I would cry and cry and cry in church. By the time I went home, I didn't even know what the priest was saying there in front. I just cried and cried and cried and cried. And then I said to my husband, listen here, what's the use of me going to church if I sit there every time and just cry my eyes out when I don't know what they're saying there? I'm just emotional because my mother is not with me. And then the Holy Spirit just said to me, try the church where I send you to for change. And I thought, okay, let me just try this. So I would go there 1 week, and then 1 week to my church, and I would go there 1 week to that church, and then 1 week to my church. And then I just started to feel more at home at the new one that I was visiting. And I could just feel every time I was there, I could just feel the presence of God. I could just feel the peace that was with me. And I told my husband and my family that I am deciding to go there. And when I left my church that I attend for years, I did it in a nice way. I sent my letter and everything. I joined the new church. I got baptized. I started Bible school. And when I started Bible school, that is when the healing started. There was healing that took place in my life. God just healed me. And then I just fell in love with God all over again, more and more and more. And as God was busy healing me, He showed me why my mother had to go. He's still showing me why my mother had to go. Because her time here was up. Her journey was finished. It was my journey that needed to start now. My walk with God needed to start now. And for that to happen, she had to go home so that I can start my journey. But it also showed me why she was here. She was here to take care of me. Her calling was to mold this, because without my mother, I don't think I would have been the person that I am today without her guidance and her wisdom. And I think she was called to raise me. She was called to look after me. She was called to take care of me, because I've been through so many things in my life from birth up until now. I've been through so many things, and God wanted that someone to protect me through these years, my life was many times in danger from a very small age, and up until now. And he just used her to protect me. Her calling was to look after me and to protect me. And when her work was done, he called her home. So even though she didn't have riches, or she didn't have, she didn't have whatever, she did her part. She did what she needed to do. She needed to raise me, and he showed me all of that. And now he's just grooming me into this strong woman. He's just grooming me into the strong woman of God, and he has so much in store for me to help people heal, and people that went through the same things that I went through, to help them heal, to share my testimony with them. And her death has just brought many blessings to me and understanding to me, you know. So even though we don't understand things at that moment, you will reveal unto us why it had to be that way. He will reveal it unto us why it had to be that way. So I'm just grateful for God's hand on me, and for just taking me through this time, taking me through this amazing journey in my life. And I'm so blessed for the memories that I've shared with my mother. And I am so blessed that we had so many years together. And even though I got married, I still looked after my mother, and she stayed with us, and I still looked after her. And I am happy that I made the decision to look after her and not to go put her in an old age home or wherever, because all those times that I spent with her was so precious. And I have millions of photos, because she went everywhere with us. So I don't regret anything. I don't regret not spending time with her, because I spent all my time with her. And yeah, so I am just happy that she is at a place where she is resting, and God always shows me that she is fine. Chantel, she is fine. Don't worry about her, she is fine. And when I miss her, he will give me a word, and he will tell me she is fine. So I have that peace and knowledge, knowing that my mother is fine where she is. And this woman you looking at now, speaking here, she raised this woman. Thank you for listening. My name is Chantel Botha, and it is a pleasure sharing this with you. Bye, till next time.